Hi, everyone, and welcome to Rising Stories Podcast. I'm Corine Sandifer, your host. Usually I have a guest on the show, but today I thought I would shake things up a little bit because it's summer, and I want to talk about juggling summer schedules and things that happen during the summer. You pack for vacations, you're doing all kinds of stuff. Things are different a little bit if you have kids especially and you're working. You kind of have to incorporate their schedules in with yours and things like that. And also I'm going to throw in a couple of books that I like to recommend. So grab your favorite beverage and chill, sit down maybe on your porch or get a glass of sweet tea like I'm doing, and join me as I just talk about some of the fun things that are going on in the summer. So one of the things that happens in the summer for most people, maybe not for everyone, but you go on a family vacation. Usually people vacation in the summertime. So we do summer vacations at the beach, and we stay in a condo. And about 5 years ago, maybe it was 7 years ago, I decided I was doing a blog every Friday. It was like Friday favorites. And my blog is called, it's a personal blog, and it's called All Things Good and Wise. And so I did a very short blog post about packing, some of the things that I have to pack for my trip for our condo. We have to take certain things that are not provided there. Not everything's provided, or if it's provided, it's just not a whole lot. So like maybe just, paper towels, they may just have one roll. We may go through 2 rolls. So those kinds of things. So I usually put everything in a bin, like a tub, like a Rubbermaid tub. So I had my tub next to me and I was like, what am I going to blog about this week? So I was packing for the beach and we were leaving on Saturday, and I just took a snapshot of that. And it just went viral on Pinterest. I pinned it and it went viral on Pinterest. So what it is I plan like 2 or 3 meals that we're going to eat at the beach, so that I'm not cooking and I'm not cleaning up a whole bunch of stuff, and I'm not taking things down there that are like spices and things that you want to make a full meal. I just do certain things that help me prepare for the meals down there. And so I did all that and I wrote about it on a blog, and it just went viral. And the other thing that I do is I'm very compartmentalized person when it comes to packing. So for the last few years that I've been packing for the beach, I have this obsessive thing that I do when I pack. So I either choose the color brown or I choose the color black. And so either I take brown sandals or I take black sandals, and everything revolves around my color scheme. I know, kind of crazy, right? But like if I have like a black dress that I'm wearing or black shorts, then I will take everything that matches with the black shorts and then the black sandals, maybe a pair or 2 that maybe go with that particular, those particular shorts, and everything matches. And I may take like maybe my black cropped jeans or like I said, my black dress, earrings that go with my black outfits. And so, a black belt if I need it. Everything is just like kind of color coded around one particular color. And that's either my black jeans or my black sandals, or I do the brown ones. Purses, which I don't take like 2 or 3 purses down to the beach. I only just take one. But at the time I had a black one and I had a brown one. Brown leather one, so of course I took the black one. So it's those kind of things that I just sort of plan everything around the base or basics of my wardrobe. So that has helped me kind of pack lightly for the beach. So that's one thing I thought about. You guys might be interested in following and doing, because it's so easy when you're packing something. And I'm going to do it. I've got another trip later on in the month that I'm going to do the same thing for. It's just easier for me to know that everything is going to match, because sometimes I will end up, or I have in the past, end up taking like brown shoes and black shoes and red shoes and things that I don't need all of those. So it's just easy. I do in the wintertime, I have brown pair of boots and maybe black boots. And I do the same thing when I pack for a winter trip as I do for a summer trip. But thought I would throw that out there for whatever it's worth. I hope that this is helping. But I just love to compartmentalize and just kind of categorize and color code everything. I don't know about you, but that's what I do. So the other thing that I'm doing this year is I'm doing a summer bucket list. One of my guests has a download at Jack and Ella Paper. If you sign up, I think, for her newsletter, you can download this sheet that says Summer Bucket List. And I thought, this is a great idea, because I always want to do some special things in the summer. Last year, we did some things, but I didn't write it down. So this year, I'm going to write it down. I'm big on lists. I'm big on hitting your mark, making sure that you know where you're going. And of course, that's what I do with my clients. I make sure that they are hitting the mark, make sure that they have a mark, and we define that first. So define what you want to do, what you're wanting the summer to bring you. So for me, what I want the summer to bring me is just closeness to my kids, because one of them is still at home. The other one is a teacher. And so they are both off in the summer. So I want that, connection. I want meals. I want activities. I want the vacation, and just, kind of connecting. And sometimes we'll just have a lazy summer afternoon and just kind of watch something on TV or Netflix. And then other times I plan something, like in the beginning of the year, I'll say, we want to go to a baseball game. So we're going to buy tickets and we're all going to go to a baseball game. So planning and doing a bucket list is so helpful. So that's one of my favorite things that's happening for me this summer, is I have filled out a bucket list and I am checking it off. So now I want to talk about books. There are 2 books that I totally recommend. One of them is called The 4-Hour Work Week, and it is by Timothy Ferriss. He talks a lot about finding that wonderful place where passion meets skills, and how to get there. And you know how they say, if you find what you love and you work at what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. So in other words, if you're working at what you're absolutely loving to do, then it won't seem like work. And partly that's true, partly that's not true. I mean, I am enjoying what I do. I love what I do, but there are times where, I have to do some hard things, because it's work. It's called work. And so there are things that you have to do. And so I also love another book that's by Sheryl Sandberg, and hers is called Lean In. It is a great book for empowering women, and it just makes you feel good about being a woman and being in the workforce and doing what you're supposed to do, and how you can continue to grow and in what you're doing. So that's a really encouraging book, and I recommend that to anyone out there that loves to, support women, and that you have a great job, or even a job where you feel like you need to make a lateral move or climb the ladder move. This is a great book for you, and it's Lean In by Sheryl Sandberg. Another thing that happens during the summer is it seems like we eat, I don't know about you, but we eat later in the evening. Usually in the wintertime, 6 o'clock rolls around, it's already dark. It's been dark. So we have dinner usually at 6, but a lot of times in the summertime, we have dinner later in the evening, more like 7:30, maybe even 8 o'clock, because we're out doing stuff, and, you don't get as hungry when you're hot and thirsty. And so we just kind of prolong it. And so what I love to do is, if I'm not grilling out, then I love to do like really quick skillet meals, or meals that are on like a one pan meal. So if it's a skillet meal, I'll just do a stir fry and do stuff like, if it's summer sausage or whatever protein you have, or some chicken, I've already got it cut up, or I just run and get something, and then I just throw in all kinds of vegetables. So I do that kind of a skillet stir fry. Sometimes I put spices, sometimes I just put salt and pepper. If I want to do a little bit of Asian flair, I'll throw in some type of, like a sauce, some kind of teriyaki or something, or I might do a little bit of heat with some salsa, but I just kind of do a stir fry and maybe even serve it over rice, or just serve it with a salad is plenty. And if you don't mind turning on your oven, I'll do a one pan meal. Those are amazing because you get the, just the charred, a little bit of, grilling them or baking them. And it's just fun. So, but if we're not using the grill, which I try to use the grill as much as I can, sometimes I'll just do burgers, even though we don't have the buns, and I'll throw some zucchini on there. And one of the things that I love to do, and I saw this in Mexico when I was on a mission trip in the Sinaloa Valley of Mexico, there were like little grills and kind of like street trucks, street tacos, but they were actual street tacos because you're literally eating on the street. There are tables right off the sidewalk, off the street, on the sidewalk, and someone's got their grill out there. So it's not even a truck. It's just like totally street tacos. One of the things that they did was they took a big piece of heavy aluminum foil, and they put an onion. They cut an onion. They sliced the top and they sliced the bottom, or maybe even they just did the bottom. Put some oil on the bottom of the aluminum foil. Put some oil on the top. They might have even put some butter. It's just whatever you want. If you want to do like canola oil, or if you want to do coconut oil or real butter. And then they just salt and peppered it to death. Like not a whole lot, but just, salt and peppered it. And closed it up really tightly and threw it on the grill. And that stayed on there for the entire time. And we have been doing that. And I just love those grilled onions because you can put it on anything. Like if I don't finish it off, I usually throw it in my omelet the next day, or I'll throw it on, a taco. It's just very versatile, but usually it's all gone because my husband loves grilled onions and I love grilled onions, but it gets so juicy and so tender within the aluminum foil on the grill that it is amazing. So there's some quick recipes. I hope those are helpful that we do in the summer. So one last thing is I want to talk to you about 2 apps that I'm absolutely loving. And they are apps that help teams. So if you have a big team and with your business, if you have got your web developer, you have a maybe a virtual assistant, or you have some couple of partners that partner with you in your business, or even just for family, I think this is an amazing couple of apps. Number one, it's called Slack. So Slack is all you can put categories. So we have categories in a group that I'm in. One is just like resources. The other one is called something like discussion topics, and maybe tools, or I can't remember all of them, but there are different topics. And then you go in there and maybe one of them is goals. So you go in and you post something. Maybe it's a personal thing that you want to connect with someone else. It gives you the option of finding that person within the group and messaging them directly. So, but it's all contained into one sort of like a house of an app, and it connects you with your team. So that's Slack. Slack, Slack. The other one is called Voxer. I know you've heard me talk about Voxer. I love Voxer. I also have a mastermind group on Voxer, and I love it because I can just hop on and talk and share something, and it doesn't have to be in real time. People can listen to it whenever they want. So sometimes I'll let it my inbox of Voxer get full, and then I'll listen to everybody, talk about what's going on. They may have some news and they're talking about, a whole bunch of stuff. So I love that. And like I said, it can work for a team. It can work for a staff, like a church staff. It could work for both of these apps are great for either one of those, or it can work for a family. Maybe you're planning a trip or you're doing something that requires, kind of some talk back and forth, but you don't want to bother the person with a text or a voicemail, and that way they can just listen to it on their own. I mean, if you have to get a hold of them, then you can text or call, but I like that it's all contained in one and everyone hears it. So, or you can individualize it and say, I'm just going to call this one person or talk to this one person. So those are great. I hope that you've enjoyed this time with me and that you learned something fun, and make sure you go over and read my simple vacation menus, because those are really fun. You can find the pin on Pinterest under Simple Beach Menus. And I hope that you'll join me next week when I have another guest on Rising Stories. Thanks so much for listening, and keep rising in your own story.